What up YouTube, I am back with round 4 of Siege of Winterfell, and this time it's against a familiar opponent. We have a rematch against SHS, who we beat in round 2 of this season. Both sides have a really poor turnout with 6 fewer castles than we had in last Saturday's match against the same opponent. But given that they chose to send all of their accounts to Armory last time and didn't really contest Hot Springs at the start, I decided I would send both of my accounts to Armory as well to fight them. And ultimately we win this pretty easily. There's not too much of a fight. They're big guys here, but he gets overwhelmed by superior numbers for the most part. So after securing Armory, we push on down to grab base 3. There's only a few people defending it, and most of our strong accounts still have most of their armies left from that first engagement, so there's no chance of them defending it really. From there, I decide I'll push on down to Outpost 1 in the hopes that they will send a lot of accounts to come and try and engage me, which will let us have a numbers advantage at the bag. And they do pour in a fair few accounts. But at this point, we've got most of the map secured. They're contesting a few buildings, but we're winning all of those battles, so even if they are to pick up the bag, they won't have anywhere to carry it. Which is lucky because they do manage to pick up the bag. Again, they committed most of their big accounts to trying to secure it, just like they did in match 1, but this time we didn't overcommit to it, so we had numbers elsewhere on the map, so they couldn't snipe everything out from under us like they did the last match. So they start by carrying it towards base 3, but they then capture base 4, so one guy decides to start taking it backwards, and then we kill him, and we start taking it towards base 3, and then they realise they've got a numbers advantage here, so they start taking it towards base 3. It's a whole mess, but eventually we do manage to get the bag picked up and dropped off in base 3 before they can even look at capturing it. So we stand and fight here and kill off all of the armies that were trying to get the bag. And at this point we're expecting a pretty easy win from here because we managed to hold Hot Springs' entire match this far, and by this time in the last game they'd already basically run out of heals, so I then send Covya to pick up the second bag, but they only sent one army to chase them, so I send my other account down to base 4, which is what they're mostly focused on right now. Most of their accounts that still have armies left are here trying to just get some points secured, while we are aiming to get our first 80k points of the season, so we are trying to hold everything. But Covya manages to get that bag dropped off with very little difficulty, and we've basically won the fight for base 4. There are a couple people pouring in because it's so close to their base, but nothing that we can't handle. They have sent a few people up to Hot Springs and they do briefly get it, but we managed to retake it without too much difficulty. So for this next bag, I decided to reverse the roles for some reason. I send my weaker account down to hold Greyjoy Outpost 1, hoping that they'll come and engage me, and send the strong account to carry the bag, which will be mostly uncontested. Probably was not the best decision I've ever made, especially because pretty much everyone who respawns is going to come and try and kill me at Greyjoy Outpost 1. It looks pretty good to start with while I'm just killing all of the alts and AFK accounts that were set here to hold it, but like I say, all of the respawns are pouring in and they quickly start to overwhelm my my one account. But they are basically out of the game at this point. They don't have many accounts with full armies left, and what they do have, they're just pouring into the outposts to try and hold them to get some points. Only the odd army or two venture forth to try and secure anything else. With the exception of this attack here, their largest player manages to rally a few people to come and try and get base 4, but we have enough people nearby that we can overwhelm them. And that is basically the end of the match. We just hold the rest of the map and slowly pick up bag. We finish with 93,000 points to their 10,000. And I will just quickly flip through all of the points again in case anyone's interested. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and best of luck in KVK this weekend.